I'm very happy that the department has again come up with something very interesting for all.
Thank you. We try our best to get new things. Okay.
Hello, Kirti ma'am.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, ma'am, fine.
Okay.
Hello, Dhanvanti. How are you?
Shilpa ma'am, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nice meeting you all.
Yeah, our pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah, and very happy to see Dhanvanti here.
Dhanvanti, you are on mute.
Ah.
Dhanvanti, you are on mute. Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi, Dhanvanti.
Hello, Shilpa ma'am.
Hello, how
So
are you,
lovely
Dhanvanti?
to get connected. I'm very fine, ma'am. Same here.
Happy to see you,
Such a
Dhanvanti,
lovely
after
platform
so
to be.
long. Happy
Hello,
to see you.
same here, Anur ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm great. I just joined so that I also would like to see what you have gained in all these years and deliberating on. So it's lovely to see our students doing so well.
The journey has been very nice. Can't complain.
You look the same.
I put on some kgs.
All
I
the
think being with children helps.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. I need it.
It is sharp 4. We will start now.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Alka.
Good evening, Alka ma'am.
Good evening. Hello, Dhanvanti.
Hello, Alka
Recognize
ma'am.
me?
I can't see you actually. I can't see anyone.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Layout. Same here.
You can't see. I don't know, something is wrong with my video.
Oh, now I think I can see. Now
Last
I can
time
see.
also I had a problem. You can see?
Good evening,
Okay.
everybody. I would request
Nice to see you after
mute
so
your
many
mic
years.
so that we can start the session.
Same here.
Good evening, everybody. I would request you to mute your mic so that we can start the session. Moksha, please put the slide of today's session. Moksha. Okay. Good morning, everybody present. Shilpa ma'am, Dr. Mala Pandurang, our colleagues, dear students, friends and parents, whosoever has joined. We welcome you to today's session on Tryst with the Weekdays. Our speaker today is Mrs. Dhanvanti Deshmukh, who is our own student of batch 1994-95. So it is more than 20 years, I think now. I will not calculate that. Okay. Dhanvanti has experience of 22 years with childcare sector, and she has got a strong knowledge of early years education and practice. She is currently working as a nursery manager in an institute called as Bright Horizon Family Solution at Carshalton, London. And she is, her strength lies in creating enabling environment for children to flourish and learn in playway method, enhancing curiosity within them. Okay. Not only that, she has the ability to galvanize the team and develop a relationship with staff team and clients, which have helped her to achieve organizational vision. As a coach, she has supported staff team to self-assess and meet their own goals. And she believes that everyone has a gift within themselves, and once you know that, sky is the limit. I would also like to say that when she was in college with us, she is a creative person, and she does everything very creatively. Minute things and creativity will pour out from her. So I now welcome Dhanvanti to address our audience. Before Dhanvanti addresses, I would just like to know if Dr. Pandurang is still there with us.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kirti. Thank you.
And Dr. Pandurang, if you can address our students before we start the session.
Yes, very good afternoon to Dhanvanti. Dhanvanti was the student the year that I joined the college, and very fond memories, as Kirti said, very innovative, very bright, and ever eager in the class. Thank you, Dhanvanti, as an alumni for coming back to the institution and for thinking of such a creative topic. I think just the topic and the way it has been worded and the very bright posters made by the students and the department have drawn a very good number of participants from all across India. I've been looking at the list that the department has been putting up. And so without taking any more time, we're really looking forward to what you have to say. But I would also like to compliment the teachers and to the students. I can see the amount of work that they have put in to make the webinar a success. Thank you, and over to you, Dhanvanti.
Yes.
Dhanvanti, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself, Dhanvanti.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Can you hear me now, Shanvi? Thank you so much, everyone,
Yes,
for giving me this platform and hearing. I hope I'm able to deliver what your expectations are today. It's lovely to get connected.
What happened, Dhanvanti? We're not able to hear you.
Yeah, she's stuck, I think.
Dhanvanti, we are not able to hear you.
Ma'am, Dhanvanti has a network issue. She is just reconnecting.
Okay.
Praveen Sai has joined us, and very warm welcome to Praveen sir, who is from our management.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
Miss Dhanvanti will be back with us soon. She has lost connection and is reconnecting.
रखो वापस. Dhanvanti, what happened? Yeah, we are waiting, huh? She's joining in few minutes, has some network issues.
All right, ma'am.
Dr. Janvi, while we are waiting for Dhanvanti to join, maybe you could share something about the PGEC course that we've started.
Sure, ma'am. We were planning to do this towards the end, but I think we will share about it right away. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, as you all are aware, we are the Department of Human Development, and we also have various valuable courses for students and who might be interested. So here is a small video which I will play, and then Sonali ma'am, who is the faculty in the course, will be telling you about it. So that is a brief about the course. And Sonali ma'am, would you like to share with everyone? So,
Janvi ma'am, am I audible?
yes, you are.
Good afternoon, good evening to one and all present over here. A very warm welcome to all. Myself, Sonali Shirkani. I'm working as a visiting faculty in Dr. BMN College of Home Science for PG ECE diploma course. Regarding post-graduation course in early childhood education, it is a one-year diploma course, and it is open for all who have done their graduation and in any of the discipline, example art, science, commerce. Those who are very much enthusiastic and passionate in teaching early years and shaping young minds and have completed the graduation are welcome to enroll in this course. uh, how this course will benefit the learner. This course will help the learner to become a early years professionals, curriculum designer, preschool or childcare center head or the director, entrepreneur, and so on. Those who are working and unable to attend practicals but is very energetic and wants to acquire more and more knowledge and build up to the existential knowledge. A good news for them also that we have come up with a new online certificate course where people can enroll from any of the disciplines, as I have said earlier. For this certificate course also, they can enroll, and this course will be between December 2020 to March 2021. So the subjects included in the certificate course are child development, professional development, curriculum planning, and ICT, that is information and communication technologies in early childhood education. And because of this pandemic, we are taking the courses online, including the pre-preparatory part of the practicals. So if we are getting an opportunity in this pandemic to upgrade our skills and achieve this post-graduation diploma or certificate course in this pandemic, then we should make use of it and make the best of it. So those who are interested
Thank
to
you so
enroll.
much.
in this course, there's an update that please enroll yourself by the time of 31st of December 2020, because the SNDT portal will close after that, and the students will not be able to register after the 31st. So the earlier you enroll, it will be better for learner as well as the teachers also. So in case you have any doubts or queries, you can definitely contact us. You can contact Dr. Janvi as well as me. We will be providing the flyers after the session. And all the best to one and all, and happy times.
Thank you so much, Sonali. And yes, so since Miss Dhanvanti had lost connection, we thought we will share with you all about our upcoming courses, in fact, ongoing courses. And Dhanvanti ma'am is back with us. So over to you, Dhanvanti ma'am.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. And Sonali will be playing the PPT.
Okay. Thank you once again for bearing with me. And so thank you, Sonali, for keeping the show on while the connection was lost. And welcome, Praveen Bhai. It's lovely to see you as well. So thank you for joining in. So you have seen the poster was talking about different things that we do on a day. I personally believe that every day gives us an opportunity. And looking at that, I thought of keeping this topic as celebrating every day, which where we are going to change our thoughts and creating new avenues. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Sonali, next.
So this is about me. Kirti ma'am has already explained, given my introduction, so I don't think so I need any more introduction. This is just to tell you what I have done and my background. Next slide, please. So just before we begin, just a quick rules for what we will expect today. So before asking a question, ask yourself, because it helps you give you clarity. So when you're asking, it becomes more meaningful, and the process, the brain has got the process going on. So it will help us to connect those elements. So ask your question. If you want, write it down, get involved. The more, use colored pens, make notes, doodle, draw, put information in flow charts, because it helps remembering. Today's session is more of hands-on. We are going to look at goals. We are going to look at motivation. We are looking at how to remain in present. So those kind of activities. So I want you all to be involved as much as you can. Remember, this is a confidential space. Be respectful and behave. In terms of confidential space, it might happen that we share some personal elements of our personal lives, or we share our personal goals. Just keep it to yourself. We are not here to make any judgments. We are here to share information and learn from it. If required, we might take a 5 minute, just a pause, just to wind and rewind ourselves and stretch and relax, so that we get that energy back and will help us focus. Next, please. So now I'll give you 40 seconds. Just think of what today, what when you registered, what kind of things came in your mind, so that we can rethink of what you want to achieve. And if anyone would like to share, I would appreciate. So take 40 seconds, take your time, just think about what do you think you're going to learn today? What are you going to achieve? What do you plan to achieve from today's session? And someone can share it, take 40 seconds and just put it in a nutshell, what you aim to achieve from today's session. So I'm just going to put my timer on for 40 seconds, and we will meet again. So any one of you who wants to volunteer will be appreciated. As I said, I want this session to be as interactive as possible. So the time is clicking. So anyone who would like to share, please feel free. Sonali, Moksha, Dhwani, please share your experience, or what thoughts have gone to your mind. Who's going to have a go?
I think
Ma'am, Moksha here.
how to
Yes,
have the
Moksha.
best day.
Sorry, couldn't hear you.
Go ahead, Moksha.
What did you? Yes,
Yes,
Moksha.
so on reading the brochure, the poster, basically, for me, it was like getting into myself and then understanding what are the obstacles and what are my strengths, which will motivate me to go ahead in life or even in future or career or in any discipline.
Perfect. So there are
It was
some
like
words that are very nice words you have used. Strengths. So something you need to find out is your strengths, finding the blocks. And this is something that is in us. So it's very nice that you're reflecting on your own self. And that's what the session is about. It's not about other elements. There are different elements that come alongside. And it's about focusing on those, picking on from those elements outside, but reflecting on within. So very good points that you have written, mentioned is about strength and obstacles. Thanks, Moksha. Anyone else?
my pleasure, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm Dwani here, and the first
Hi, Dhwani.
impression of the poster was that the session will help me use my or make my weekdays a little more effective and productive, which can help me achieve my long-term goals.
Perfect. Again, a good word, productive. So when you have less time, think when you are given a time bound, it helps us to understand how I can exactly pass on my information. So nice words are coming, strengths, productivity, obstacles. So that's nice. So that will be some of the elements that we will try to cover. There'll be a lot of it's a reflective workshop. So it's more of we will be doing some activities which will help us to reflect and go back on. So you will be having chances, or you will be having opportunities for going within, because that's very important. So if you want to make any change, it doesn't start from outside, it starts from within. And that's what we are going to look at. Anyone wants to share, or should I talk what we will achieve? So last one, anyone wants to have a go? We'll take one more call.
Hello, I am Neeta
Anyone
Upadhyay.
from?
Yeah, I am Neeta Upadhyay. I
Hello,
just,
Neeta.
yes, to me, it appeared to me as if we'll be doing more about introspection.
Yes. So we will be looking at, I'm more focusedly, more vague, more, I'll be putting more focus on looking at our setting goals. So setting, when we are planning something for ourselves, when we want to achieve something, we want some outcomes to be achieved. How are we going to define that? How are we going to make it as simple and as clear so that we are clear about it in our own minds, and how we are going to achieve them and make it possible? Because many a times we will make, oh, I will do this from tomorrow, but it's not about tomorrow. Any change we want to bring, it's everything in now, and it's about understanding those elements. And as you said, we will be doing some reflections on, and there'll be a lot of writing and things. So that's the reason, if you can have some writing work, papers, pens, please keep it to yourself, because this is, I hope this session gives something to each one of you who have taken time today to be on this platform. So yes, it is something to reflect on some elements of how to be in present, how to be mindful about things, how to set your goals, how to make your goals very realistic, how can you understand why am I not achieving my goals, those kind of things. And we will be looking at how food makes an impact, how if you're not drinking enough water, how to keep your energy levels going on. So those will be some of the elements that we will be focusing on. So the next slide will tell you exactly what in nutshell this course might help some to achieve today. Next slide, please, Sonali. So each day is special, and only we can make it happen. I can make it happen. So to make this change, I have to get involved. I have to make some changes within myself, within the environment, so that it can happen. So through this session, my aim is to help understand ourselves a bit better. So I might know something new about myself. Today's session might help us to look at how we can live in the moment, how we can experience the present, learn to make your day more meaningful and productive. So as Dhwani was saying that she wants to be productive, so how we can make it productive, set manageable goals. So there was things about looking at strengths, so it's about developing your own self. So for that you will need to set up goals. So how to set manageable goals. Learn to appreciate and be thankful. We take so many things for granted, and I learned this as I grew up. And when you come to a point where you say, "Oh, each one plays such an important role," are we taking opportunity to thank them? Are we taking opportunity to even realize how many people play an important role in who we are today? So it's about learning to appreciate things around us. And the next is be accountable. We often blame, we often hear what we are not doing. So it's about, again, giving. Today we are going to look at how we are going to take accountability for our own actions, our own feelings, our whole experiences, how we make choices and decisions. We make them, and we make them with conscious effort sometimes, and sometimes we just, "Arey, tab hota to." Things have passed. We live lot in past and regrets. So let's move on from there. So this is what we are going to look at, how we take accountability for all those feelings, all those things that we go through. We're also going to look at, it's okay to feel. This is something that we are working on teaching children here. It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to hit. Then what do I do? So it's, first of all, acknowledging the feelings is very important aspect of bringing a change within yourself. So this is something that we will be looking at. It's okay to feel whatever the feeling is. It's okay, and build turn it into a positive feel. And the last thing is, anything and else that each one will can resonate with whatever we are sharing today will be a learning experience. So this is what we aim, or this is the objectives that we are going to focus on. I aim to provide that platform for every one of us, and in the whole process, even I will be learning a lot of other elements within myself. Next slide, please. So I'm going to do an activity today. Can everyone see me? So we are going to do an activity where we are going to use our hands, and it's about direction. So if everyone can raise your hands and point to your left, so you'll point to your left. When I say point to your right, you point to your right. So I'm going to read a story about Mr. and Mrs. Right. And I want you all to use your hands. Whenever I use the word right, you move it to the right. When I use the word left, you move it to the left. So I'm going to read a story.
Sorry, Dhanvanti, but we cannot see you.
Oh, where did I go?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
I think I'm on, my camera is on.
But we can't see you.
Yeah, I think that on Google Meet, when you're presenting, it's difficult to see the presenter.
But Sonali is presenting for Ramala.
How do I check that? Because my video is on.
Dhanvanti, I think your video is on, but the camera is not. There is something blank or dark in front of it. We can see a black screen.
Maybe you can try to put it on again, put it off and put it on again.
Now, can you see me?
No, Dhanvanti, but please continue. We can't see you.
Okay, that's fine. So it's about the, I basically, it's an element for me to see. So I'm just going to read a story. When you hear word right, you move your hands, put your both hand directions to the right. When I say left, you put your hand direction to the left. So are you all ready? If you are ready, just put your hands up or wave to me so that I can read the story. Thumbs up is best. Okay. So this is a story of Mr. and Mrs. Right. So again, I will just quickly brief on what we are going to do. So I want you all to lay back, relax, listen to what I'm saying. You just have to point your hands in the direction that I'm saying. Use both hands in the right direction when I say right and left. Don't look at other people, just concentrate on what I'm saying. So all set, here the story goes. So I would like to tell you a short story of Mr. Right and Mrs. Right. So when you hear the right, you move your hands to your right. And so if you keep a note of, if you are doing this activity slow, or if you have made mistakes, it's okay, but just keep a mental note of these, okay? One evening, Mrs. Wright decided to bake cookies, and Mrs. Wright suddenly called, "Oh no, what happened to that baking tray I left here yesterday?" So she called Mr. Wright and asked him, Oh, honey, I had left a baking tray here in the morning and I can't see it now, Mr. Wright said. Thinking Mr. Wright had forgotten, he said, I thought you had left, so I put it right back in the place it needs to be, so you can find it. Thanking Mr. Wright, Mrs. Wright excitedly said, Oh, I can bake my cookies now. She took the baking tray, lined it up with a baking sheet, and left it on the side, and started getting right away to bake her cookies. It will take few minutes. I will be all I can already smell my lovely cookies. As she started getting all the ingredients ready, she realized, oh, no flour. Oh, Mr. Wright, can you please help me? I need you to go to the shop and get me the flour. The shop is 10 minutes away. You can take my car. And he left straight away. He remembered, oh, which shop do I go to? So she quickly told him, you need to go to the corner of the second street and turn right. And then you will see a stop sign. When you see the stop sign, turn right and then go straight. And then on your left hand side, you will see the shop. The Mr. Wright did exactly what Mrs. Wright had told him to do, and he went. He found the shop, he left, and he parked his car and left. Mrs. Wright was so right. She knew the directions so well. Mr. Wright hurriedly went to the shop, got his shopping bag from the booth, and got ready straight away. He went and spoke to the assistant. Where will I get the flour? He said. Oh, right on your left. Right. Please move to the left. On the second aisle, you will find flour and sugar on your left. Mr. Wright did exactly what was told. He picked up the flour and moved onto the till to pay the money. He left his shopping bag and paid the money, took the shopping bag, put the flour in, and left. He went outside. He couldn't see his car. He said, I had parked it right here, and then realized that, oh, I left my car in the parking bay. I have got Mrs. Wright's car. He found the car, he got inside, and reached home. Mrs. Wright made the purchase right away and left out of the door. Mrs. Wright was eagerly waiting, and he finally got, and he could see him. Mr. Wright finally got out of the car. So she got all the ingredients ready and waiting for things to come in. She expected him right back, as she had left all the cooking ingredients in the kitchen straight away he left for the shop, so she could get started right away. When Mr. Wright was back, she took the bag of flour from Mr. Wright and left it with her cooking ingredients and went to get the recipe she had left on the trolley. End of story. How did you feel? How many of them be with the could manage having the directions right away? How many of you lost in the way? How many of you all got confused? So everyone has gone through the same feelings. So none of them were doing it right. We missed out. There were some missed opportunities. Somewhere I was going too fast. Sometimes I was going too slow. So each one had the experience of missing. And that's what life is all about. You have opportunities coming through. Sometimes we have missed opportunities. Sometimes we don't even realize that opportunity is knocking there. So things on a day-to-day basis go like this. How many of you were thinking of something else when you were doing this activity? Did you have any other thought? Did anyone have any other thoughts, or you were very involved in the activity? Were you all focused in the
In the
activity?
start, there were a few thoughts, but as and when the story went ahead, it was like focused.
Yes. So sometimes your mind needs something to carry on and stay focused. So we are going to look at different elements of creating focuses in our life, in our day-to-day life. It's not about tomorrow. It's not about yesterday. It's not about 5 years, 10 years down the line. It's about now. So we are going to do a lot of activity, and that we will also be reflecting some of mindfulness activities, which will focus on staying in presence. So when you are in present, when you then the thoughts don't get you caught. It lets you be in the present. I hope you have enjoyed this activity. It was also some form of just getting to know us and feeling us a bit connected. So that was Mr. and Mrs. Wright's story. Next slide, please. So it was about sharing experience. How did it make you feel? So we have already spoke, and I think Moksha was kind enough to actually speak about whether she had thoughts in her mind and shared her experience. Anyone else would like to share anything, that how did the story make them feel or anything like that?
Yes, ma'am.
I started to look at what others were doing and lost track of what I should do.
So many a times these things happen. We are get so paranoid sometimes about if you have a competitive aspect of, oh, I need to see what's happening, I need to be in control. If those kind of feelings come in, you tend to look around, and then you may get lost. And this is, again, this might happen on a day-to-day basis. You come with a plan, you wake up and, tomorrow I'm going to start my day. You start your day, and oh, today's presentation is a good one. Everything set up, my internet, checked my internet, everything. And what happened? When I about to start, off my connection. So sometimes things happen. Sometimes you get caught up with some things. Sometimes you get lost within something. And it's about making sure, again, it's about focusing on myself. It's an important thing to look at me. Things will happen in the background, and others will always have an opinion. We don't need others to validate what we are. We need to get away from that and believe in ourselves. Yes, we are humans, so we will have faults, we will be full of flaws, we will make mistakes, and it's okay. It's absolutely fine to be like that, because that is meant to happen for that moment. Yes, what we don't do is we just don't leave it. हाँ मैं ऐसी हूँ, मैं वैसी हूँ, मैं lazy हूँ. No, you know these are the elements of yours. We are going to pick them up and turn it. It's like if you have lots of failures coming in, you'll always make a judgment. मेरे साथ कुछ अच्छा ही नहीं होता. No, then we have to take that failure. If that's a block, we need to take that block, take that stone out, and change it over, turn it over, to make it into a success. And those elements will help us. So thank you, Mala ma'am, for sharing. Yes, we do get caught up what's happening around us. And the race is so fast that you can't keep the pace sometimes. So it's again important that slow down. We forget about slowing down. We are always in a race. We're always continuously looking what next, what next. So thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Ma'am, I
Use
was
this
just,
time to reflect. Sorry, go
ma'am.
on.
Yes, ma'am, I was just concentrating what you're saying, like, what am I supposed to do with the right side or the left side? I was concentrating on every word of yours. So,
Yes, that's good. So again, that also helps us that if you train, if you're interested in something, your mind, your whole, everything will come to you. So your interest plays a very important role. Okay. We will be focusing on can, which talks about ability, and willingness, which talks about your motivation to get on. We will highlight on that. So thanks, Prachi, for sharing that. The more you talk about it, this experience is going to be more, this is going to be a two-way process. So thank you all for sharing and taking part. Next slide, please. Yes, now Motivational Monday. How does Monday make you feel? How many are excited when Monday comes? Smiles are telling me some answers already, but anyone would like to share? Someone raised their hand. I couldn't see. Not 50-50.
Miss Renuka,
So
you can
Moksha is
unmute.
saying 50-50. Moksha is saying 50-50. Renuka, you want to share something? Monday is not a favorite day. Researchers have shown that Monday, if you go on to next slide, Sonali, it talks about exactly what the study says. They say Monday sucks. It is a day when we drag ourselves, our reluctant selves, back to college office facing a pile of unfinished stuff from last week. And that's why I figured that we need some motivation. And that's the reason we call this as Monday motivation to start the week. Researchers show that people are motivated to pursue their professional goals at the beginning of a certain period. So, like mornings, I will start something fresh in the morning, Mondays, New Year's. How many of you make New Year plans or New Year resolutions? Everyone? How many of you have succeeded in it? What is your New Year resolution for next year, which you had planned in 2019 and planned it in 2018 and planned it in 2020 and you're still carrying on? So New Year resolutions, and that this effect is called as fresh start effect. So you want to start something fresh. So Mondays are usually the day. How many of you think कल से diet करेंगे? Monday से diet चालू करते हैं. Okay, so this is a thing of fresh start effect. So motivation plays a very important role in if you want to continue this fresh start effect going on. Like for example, New Year is not far. If you wanted to get your New Year resolutions and you want to start fresh again, is that effect going to sustain for that long so that I can continue? So motivation plays an important role. Any questions so far? Am I going at the right space? Am I being clear to everyone? If any point, if you have a question or if I'm not clear enough, please stop me. Okay, and no question is a stupid question. So I want everyone to understand that you have a full liberty to ask questions, and this is a platform for every one of us, each and every one who has joined in. This is a platform for everyone. So please use this platform to ask questions, to share your experience, to share a thought. Next slide, please, Sonali. How to motivate yourself. Yes, we know that we need to motivate ourselves, but how? So there are three things we should plan, prepare, and produce. But plan for what? Prepare for what? And produce what? Now, this was what we had discussed in the first thing, as in terms of what you would like to achieve from today's session. And I think Dhwani had mentioned about productivity. So productivity is an element that everyone has it in some form or the other. You want to be the best, you want to do the best, you want everything to outshine everyone. So productivity is an important element, and it also has got a social element as well, because if you do well, you will be recognized. So it's again a lot of things of self identity and things come along with productivity, or a sense of achievement again comes with productivity. So if you want all these things to fall in place, it's important that we have our goals and vision. What's the difference between a goal and a vision? Any thoughts on what's goal and what's a vision?
Goals means what we want to achieve, and vision is like a dream. For vision, we want to set our goal.
Okay. Vision is the final destination. Okay, this is what I want my life to be, this is what I want my day to go, this is what, so it's a final destination, and goals are the tiny steps that you will take that you can reach to your final destination. So next slide, please. So setting up goal. Okay, we need to be very smart. Now everything is smart these days. You have smartphones, everything is smart. So why should our goals not be smart? So I'm sure some of them must have already heard about SMART goals and what they stand for. But we are just going to reinvent and make it applicable to us on a day-to-day aspect. So let's be smart and set our goals. Next slide, please. So SMART is nothing but specific and simple, measurable, something that you can achieve and attend, something that is relevant and is time bound. So this is if you look on internet, you will find that lots of elements, lot of videos on how to make your goals more time specific, and all those things will be there. But today we are going to look and actually work on some of the goals in present. So I would ask each one of you to write some goal that they want to achieve, anything that you feel. And I would like some volunteers to share, because I would take this opportunity and help you to think about it in I will question them through. So if any two people can volunteer, I would appreciate. Any questions on SMART, what does it stand for? What is the self-explanatory? We'll deal more in detail when we go through. Next slide, please. Now let's understand how to set our goals. Now these were some of the examples that we have worked alongside when I'm talking to my staff team, to some of the students, and some of the I had asked some of the students to give me a feedback as in what their goals are. So these are some of the things of manage my time, balance work, have work-life balance, have a passion. I have a passion, but I also want to concentrate on my education. So balance in regards to my passion and work, health, work balance, learn to be patient, drive a car professionally. So these were some of the examples of goals that people have set up in past, and I've just taken few uh, glimpses of that in here just to look at and understand, are these goals or are these visions or are these a state? Next slide, please. So there are 5 techniques or 5-step technique we would call to make our goal successful. So first thing is let it be very simple and clear. Know exactly what, why, the impact it will make on you, and are you making these decisions on basis of logic, or are you making these decisions or making your goal as an emotion? Many a times, if you had a fight with someone, मैं कल से ये करूंगी, मुझे ये करना है. Okay, is it done because of a emotion, or are you really logically thinking about your emotions? Are you logically thinking about why you want to do it? If you are taking something on your emotions, then you will chances of dropping is more. If you take something on logic, you may have it sustaining for a longer period of time. So is anyone ready to share one of their goals so we can see how to make it simple and make it clear? Anyone would like to share?
Yes, I would like to share. I'm Aditi, and I
Hi,
want to.
Aditi.
Hello. So my short-term goal is to drive a car professionally, and I'm learning car. Now I'm learning car, and I have
You're
got
learning to drive.
I have got the learning license, and now I want to go somewhere outstation, like professionally, independently.
Okay. So you want to drive a car. Now when you were talking, you made it a bit more specific. So you said, I want to drive car professionally. So to first drive a car professionally, you need to have right documents and your permissions to have it. So yes, then you said that you already have that. So you want to be a confident driver. That's what you want. That's one thing of putting that in a nutshell. And it's just not becoming a confident driver generally, but you want to make sure that you can drive up to, say, now you have to be more specific. What the outstation means to you? Driving all the way from Mumbai to Delhi, or is it driving from your house to, say, Nasik or Pune? Or so you need to be very specific. What is your goal? When you say I want, you need to make it very specific, as in terms of exactly how are you going to measure it. If you don't know outstation, you need to make it very specific. So your mind is going to start thinking and has a very clear instructions as what you are going to inspect. Why you want to drive? Why it is so important that you want to drive professionally? If you're driving well, so what's the difference between what is professionally means to you? So again, that will need a clarity. So that needs a clarification as what that means to you. Because professionally you can drive, what will make you feel professional? So that will help you to make your goal very simple and clear. Yes, you want to drive your car well. Now that is not breaking the rules, driving at right speed. So there are lots of other elements. So you have to make sure your goal is simple but clear. Know exactly what, why, and the impact it is going to make on you. Are you making this decision with a logical sense, or are you doing it with emotions? Is there something you want to prove to someone about your driving? So these are the elements. So I'm sorry I'm asking you questions. It's just to, am I making sense to you all guys?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay. So when you're making your goals, sometimes you unnecessarily make it so complicated. You want to use big words to make your goals look heavy, but not. We have to be as simple and clear, because our mind doesn't understand complex sentences. Our mind is very, it's like our mind is like a child. It gets very, very quickly. If you think of a nice new thought, it gets involved in that. Think of a new thought, it will get involved in that. It's just like a child. So you need to give very clear and simple instructions to it. Okay. The next step is you need to take an action. So Aditi's goal is to drive the car professionally. She's already taken an action. She has taken her driving. She's taking her lessons. She's got her learning license. Now, so have you got a are you able to drive on a learner's drivers, or you need to give another exam to pass? So do you need to pass your examination, Aditi?
Yes, ma'am. For learning license, I have to go through one online test which I have passed, and for final license, I have to drive like real driving test, trial driving
Okay, so you
test.
have to do a driving test. So you are still not ready for your to be a professional driver, then you're not ready for it. So you need to take your one goal step back and say, I'm going to focus that I'm do my exam first. You can't just be a smooth driver without getting your basics and facts right. So again, when you're making your thing, you have already taken the action, you have taken a control, you know what your end product is, and you have taken a control. You have made sure that you are taking your lessons. Are you practicing? Are you making time for that?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is something that you will have to do.
Sorry.
Go on, Aditi, I'm listening.
Yes, I'm practicing. Like I can drive, but what I want to achieve is I want to drive. Like I want to take my whole family to for a vacation, for like my nanny's place. Uh, that kind.
Okay, okay. So for that, she will have to be, if it is farther away or far away, she will need to drive and practice in such a way that she feels confident. So it's about building on confidence. So she's already taken, she's making sure she's putting time in. Okay, the next one is notice change. So I will ask Aditi to keep a record of how is she driving, where did she make her mistakes, when her driving instructor is talking to her or doing lessons, is she making notes of the things, are there anything that faults she made, is she making a notes of where did she go wrong. So it's about even slightest small change, however insignificant it is, it will take you towards the goal or take you away from the goal. So for example, if I say I want to run a marathon, if I want to run a marathon, what I need to do is I need to, I'm fit, I'm able to run, I'm doing my exercises, so I think I should run, but I need some practice. So I'm practicing enough. So when I'm doing that, when I'm looking, if I'm running for a purpose to, will I look forward or will I look back? Now imagine if you are, there are two scenarios. One, one person is practicing for marathon, and the other one is come to a situation and he's running because he has got some thieves behind him or he wants to come in a place of safety. Is he going to look forward or is he going to look back? He's going to, where is the person who is on the marathon going to look? Is he going to look back or forward?
Forward.
Forward. And what about the person who is on a run because he wants to come to a place of safety?
Back.
Back. So it's about understanding where your goal is, where you're going or planning your things. Is it taking you away from the goal or is it taking towards your goal? Okay. So the goals might be the same. So for example, coming to a place of safety for that person, that's the goal. Okay, but he needs to change his directions accordingly, and in that respect they will go. So make sure you're identifying changes that are happening while you are doing your or working towards your goal. Sometimes it might take you away from, for example, Aditi might get frustrated saying, I'm driving for so long, I've been practicing so well and I'm not, and she might, that might take her away from a little compliment from her driving instructor or someone saying, oh, you drove so well today, might take her closer to the goal. So it's about understanding, having the right people to give you feedback, asking the right people, asking the right question for a feedback. Many a time, how did I do? People will not say you didn't do well. What did I do a good job? Will someone say no? No. Again, as asking the right questions to get your right feedback is important. So it's important that we look at change, notice little insignificant changes that are happening. The next one is be flexible. Keep a check, and if change is okay. So be stubborn on your vision. Let your destination be the same. Final destination, you know, but be flexible with ideas. So if Aditi has planned to go on to be a professional driver, but today the driving instructor she was very excited to drive on maybe on a motorway, or he's going to teach you on going on motorway, and then he calls you. It's okay. Don't get upset about it. Or you didn't meet your own standards that you have set for yourself. It's okay. Okay, because sometimes it's okay to go you need to go 4 steps back so that you can take 8 steps forward. So be flexible. Change is going to happen. Some things are not in our control. We didn't even realize COVID would come and it would bring so much change in every elements of our life. Okay, education sector has changed, our way of working has changed, the schooling systems have changed, but we carried on that initial way. It was bit. Now everyone is settling in their own ways, as Kirti ma'am and Kalpana ma'am was saying. We are learning from students, so we are taking reverse roles as well now. So things are changing, so you need to be flexible. If you want to sustain, you have to be resilient to change, and resilience to change will only come when you are flexible. And last is align your physiological and psychological excellence. Your body and mind is not separate. They're all part of the same system. They all exist in me. They all exist in every one of us. So it's about understanding how my posture, my thoughts, my emotions, my breathing, every element of my personality, how they impact you, and bringing them all together so they are in align and they can give positive outcomes. Now, if you're feeling low, can you think of happy thoughts?
No.
It's hard. Okay, you can try it out. Think of a very sad scenario and try to be happy. It's not, because your body, mind are not able to take those instructions like that. So we have to make conscious effort of making sure our psychological, that is our state of mind, and our physiological, that includes our body, are in conjunction or working together so that we can have positive outcomes. So let's go on to the next. Any questions on this? Anybody wants to, is it clear?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I have one question. Like, if I
Go on.
achieve a success, then how to maintain that
Sorry?
continuity? If I achieve success, then how to maintain the continuity? Like, how to maintain to be a successful?
That's fine. That's fine. So that's we are going to look at it. So success or failure are feedbacks. These are the ways that tell you something is working or not working. Okay. So staying when we very good question. I will be looking at the next slide, which will help you to understand this better. Can I move on to any other questions? I'll take that, Aditi. Any other questions? Everything clear so far?
Yes, ma'am. No questions.
Okay. Perfect. Let's go to the next slide, Sonali, please. Now, a goal. Is it a goal or a state? Now, what Aditi was saying, how do I keep the success going? That's a state. They have already achieved. Now it's about continuing that. So many a times we will say, some of the goals that came in, I want to be patient. I want to control my anger. Okay. Now, those are state. I want to be fit, a state. I want to lose weight. Is it a goal or a state? I want to lose weight. Let's look at, it's a state. Now, goal is something, it has an outcome, it's tangible, it's about making a specific, example is, goal is to make specific amount of money. I want to be, so the goal can be a personal goal, a professional goal, a social goal, your community goal that you want to go and do, raise money for a charity, or I want to do a marathon. So it could be a community goal. So you need to understand. So if I say I want to lose weight, that becomes a state, because I'm not very clear. The goal is not very clear. I want to lose 5 kgs in 3 months' time. That makes my goal more specific and clear. My mind knows that I've got 3 months. This is what my target thing is, and I can measure it. So if I look at all those 5 elements of SMART: simple, specific, measurable, attainable? Um, is it time bound? So all those elements will be covered in that. So when I'm talking about my SMART goals, it is covering, when I say I have to make, I want to lose 5 kgs in 3 months. It is simple, it's very clear. I can measure it by staying on the weighing scale. I can get a feedback from my family members who will be honest with me and telling me. It is attainable if I put effort in. So I have to make action for this. Is it relevant? Yes, because that's what my need is at the moment. And is it time bound? Yes, I'm trying to achieve it in 3 months of time. So when you're looking after your things in that aspect, it's important that you understand whether you are a goal or an out state. Now, when it's a state, it is usually nebulous, wanting to be happy. So it's something that you can have right now, and we can sometimes we get mixed up. Is it a goal or a thing? Being patient is something that you will have to continue working on throughout. It's a life, it's something that you will have to make it a part of your system and then live with it. Same way as you said, how do we keep it a success, that state? So we'll need to first understand when we are setting our goals, or when you are trying to find a motive or how to make yourself want to motivate yourself, you need to be very clear as in terms of, is it state that to be in or is it a goal? So when it's a goal, there are steps, there are series of actions that you are involved in achieving something. Whereas in state, there is no steps as such. You have to just put some elements in, but they don't have to follow a stricter routine. It's a discipline. It's more on self-discipline. It's more on making it a habit rather than having steps to achieve. It's something that is for a longer, it's on a continuation process rather than a goal is more of something that you achieve and then you go to the next one and the next one. So it's a step process. Next slide, please. Have I answered your question, Aditi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is a mind map which Pavan Bhattar in his one of his courses had shared with us, and it talks about your. So I'm going to use this and talk about some of the goals that people would had shared. So first of all, you need to, when you are planning your outcomes. So are you able to see my cursor on the slide screen?
No, they won't be able to see it because the screen is shared by
Okay,
Sonali.
so okay, so let's look at the outcome. So we need, when we are planning our goal, when we are setting our motive, when we are setting our outcome, we need to first identify whether it's a goal or is it a state. If it's a goal, then we are going to see whether we are going to go towards it. Are we going to put effort going towards it or away from it? So for example, I want to quit smoking. I want to, something that you're not going to do is taking you away from what you want, what you are doing at the moment. So whether it's something that you're going to take away from you or you're going to work towards something. We have already looked at SMART, that is simple, measurable, attainable. Now, when we are going to attainable, I want to talk about can and will. What's the difference, can and will? Any thoughts on that? Any sharing on that?
I will is like a future tense that, yeah, maybe today or tomorrow I'll do it. But I can do it is like right now. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can be there.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
In between confused person, like I can do it or I will do it, like
Okay, so you are
overconfidence
looking
or
at a state of
confidence, some
mind.
of. Yes.
Okay, so it's a dilemma between state of minds. Okay, that could be one of the things about can and will. Anyone else?
Using can also make the statement a little more affirmative.
Okay, so it helps you to give suggestions to your mind to make it uh, something that you can achieve. So it's giving an instruction to our mind. Okay.
I think I can shows like the person I have the potential to do it, and I will show like you are a firm and strong that you will
Mhm.
definitely be successful in what you're doing.
So it talks about intensity of how much you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
In the
can is more
YouTube
on.
live, one participant, YouTube live, a participant has shared. Can shows ability. Hetal has shared.
Yes, that's exactly what can is. Can is about possibility. Can is about ability. Can is something that what I can do. Okay. And willingness is willingness to do it. Will is willingness to do it. Okay. I want to lose weight, but the gyms are not working. So what am I doing? Am I willing to take any effort for that? I'm just going to say, oh, I want to lose weight, but the gyms are not working. Is my goal strong enough? Is it clear enough?
No.
No. Uh, Now, in terms of, we'll again go on Aditi's goal on driving. Okay, she says that she can drive because she did say she can drive. So she's focusing on getting her skills up. She's practicing on getting her skills defined and moving in that direction. And she's showing the willingness. So, do you think she'll be attaining her goal, every element? Is she capturing every element? So she's trying her ability, she's focusing on ability, and she's willing to make changes. So she's taking lessons, she's practicing more, so she's willing. Let's, Sonali, can you take the slide of examples of some of the goals that we had put up? I think it's slide understanding goals. I don't know what, I think the slide number 13. Yes, this one. So now if you look at here, let's look at one of the goals from here. Uh, can someone choose a goal?
Can we do about
Organize
passion
myself.
and education?
Passion and education. Okay. So let's look at, so when we are talking, let's look at the 5 elements. What were the 5 elements? Simple and can anyone retain what the 5 elements have been?
Simple and specific,
Yep.
measurable, attainable,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then time bound and relevant.
Mm-hmm. Relevant. So having passion and education. So is it clear? Is your goal clear there when I say to have a balance between passion and education? Is it clear? Is it simple? Or I need defining that?
We would still need more defining.
You will need more defining. Exactly what passion? Is this something to develop a passion? Are you going to already have a passion and you want to make time for it? Are you in education or you want to create joy, have your education going with your passion? So it needs a lot of clarity. So when if someone has decided this as their plan, it needs, or this goal, it needs a lot of work in the first step itself. Okay, so there should be, I'm just going to give some take you back about how you have to make sure your first goal comes in, first step is taken right, which is very clear, very simple. So if I have a passion for baking and I'm studying at the same time, I want to keep, is it my passion, I want to bring it into my education, or I want to keep my passion as a hobby and I want to enjoy doing that and keep it. So all these elements have to be very, very finely defined. You have to take a fine comb and just keep brushing your hair until you get all your hair all clearly been set up. That's how your goal needs to be. It has to be sieved through. Whatever you're talking about needs to be sieved and sieved and sieved until you get absolutely clarity in your thought. Okay, any more the examples you want to take? Let's see if there's any specific goal that we can see here.
Ma'am, one thing, passion and education, right? So if my passion would be like being a DJ or something, and then the education, something like if I'm thinking about my family, I have to work, right? So thinking about the 9 to 5 job, so that's become the education. When I completed my education and I'll get the job at this point, and my passion it towards to being a DJ. So how can I
Okay.
manage these things? Like, do I
So that is
join?
about continue. So that's about your lifestyle. That's not about your goal because you already know that you have to do a job and you. So it's about organizing yourself. So when we talk about making time for ourselves, so we will have different elements that we'll be covering in other um, slides, which we'll talk about. So it's about giving. This is something you enjoy. This is you. Okay, being a DJ defines you, and you want to make sure you are able to commit yourself with that passion in some form. So that could be, you could take it as give yourself a set goal. So at least once in 15 days, I want to do something to do with music. Once in 15 days, I might do, or once a month, I will. So that's how you organize yourself. So you don't want to mix up with your thing that it becomes such a task that, oh, I have not done. It needs to be something that you are able to manage both the things. It's about creating. So that needs some self disciplining on your behalf. The clearly talking about it to someone who is involved around you. So if your work commitments say that you have to work on Saturdays, but if you have tried to say that Saturdays is 2 hours is for my, or 5 hours is for my music, then you need to be in a position to say, I'm available Monday to Friday, and Saturday I could only do this much time. So you know, you are very clear about it. So when you are again setting those things up, you have a clarity of how you, what if you want to do that, how you're going to work towards it. Is that clear,
So I
Prachi? Is
need,
that what?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I need to organize all these things. Like, yeah,
Yes, so you
I
still
got it.
write down all the things. Okay, so again, it's you have the ability of being a performing your role as a DJ, but you need to have a willingness to put that effort in. So that might happen that you have to come out of your Netflix time, or come out of your work mode. You need to make sure that you discipline yourself, that these are the times I'm not going to hang around. Maybe you have to cut out on your family time and provide that time to somewhere else. So it's about understanding how important it is and how you can work with all the priorities that are there around you and managing it. And that's what, even if you see, most of the work life balance has become an issue now. But you have seen your parents, your mothers have managed it. They didn't have this balance, but they were making sure that all these elements were covered through. But now it has the stress aspect has come in, the workload changes have come in, and that's the reason it's important that we define it so clearly within ourselves, to know exactly where we stand and how, what are our strengths and things, so that we can communicate that clearly, we can identify that very clearly. Some otherwise we'll get lost. Things, the time is pushing in such fast pace, everything is moving in such fast pace, that you have to catch up constantly. You get it into the race of catching up, and that's the reason the clarity is very important. If your things are not defined clearly, you might get stuck, and that's where you fail, when you're where, or you get success, but you are scared that can I keep it on, and that's where we have to constantly work on. Any Is that clear, Prachi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Dhanvanti, a gentle
So
reminder,
these,
we have about 50 minutes.
okay, let's move on then. So let's go back to the slide number 15, which was talking about the smart, the diagram. So can and will is willingness to do it. Okay, I want to do exercise, but I'm not. I've got my new tools and everything, but my body is not willing to get up early in the morning. So the willingness is not there. You have an ability, but there's no willingness. Okay, then sometimes you need to look at from the what that goal is going to give you. Okay, losing weight or losing 5 kgs in 3 months is going to make me feel better. It's going to, I can see myself wearing outfits that I couldn't wear 3 months ago. Okay, is that I will maybe because losing 5 kgs, I may be able to run, I may be able to play with my child or play with my brother. So if you need to look at what evidence you will have once you achieve it. So that helps you to keep going. So you try to feel, see, hear, use all your sensory elements, because that also helps you to get your goal. And don't plan it that I will do it tomorrow. The time is now. Okay, don't wait for your New Year resolutions for 31st of December. Start now. Start defining them now. So even if you have any failures, you can learn from them, fix it, so you're all ready for your New Year resolutions. So time is very important. It has to, whenever you're making something, you have to start doing it now. Don't say that I'm going to make my goals and leave it there. Or I heard someone saying short-term goal, long-term goals. The goals need to be defined now. Okay, whether it's law, it might take long term, short term, leave it now for no defining it that in that respect. Let's make your goals in those 5 elements of making it simple, flexibility coming in, taking action, all those elements working on. And what is the impact? So it goes on with your evidence. What impact will it have? So that you can take responsibility. It impacts all the areas. It makes it more meaningful, so you know why you're doing it. When you looked at all the elements of why you want to have the goal, is it done by logic or emotions? I'm taking control, am I going towards or away from my goal? All this will make your goal or motive more meaningful. Okay, it also looks at whether it is self, what impact, is it something that you have to work on it, so is it self initiated, or you need some support and from outside as well to maintain it. It might happen that you, for initial period, if you want to lose 5 kgs, you may want to ask your friend to give you a company, so that she will motivate you, or she will, because she's waiting, you will go with her for a walk or things like that. So look at, for instances, you look at, can there be something that I need to work on myself and work on that element, or maintain it? Sometimes you may have to drop something. Okay, and it's okay to drop. So you may say that, Dhanvanti, you are telling us to set goals, and before we even set goals, you're asking to drop. Now, I'm not asking you to drop your goals. I'm asking you to, if it is not going to be achieved, don't keep it as a goal, because you know it is going to fail. So when you are scrutinizing, putting your goal through the fine sieve or comb, you need to understand what context and situation. So for example, if the COVID, I say I wanted to travel the world around, that was my goal, one of my goals, that I want to travel 3 countries in 6 months time. In the situation now, can I achieve it? No, so I have to drop my goal. Am I making sense? I'm going to go a bit fast on this. So if I don't make sense, please ask me questions or keep it on your notes so I can revisit that. And accept the consequences. Okay, you may have to start all over again. You may have to stop and go back. As I said, when you're taking few steps, you may have to take 4 steps back so you can take 8 steps forward. So consequences, anything that you take control of will have a consequence. Any decisions you make will always have a consequence. The consequence might be pleasure based, or it might be not pleasure oriented. It might be the way you wanted it, or it might not be the way you wanted it. That's fine. That's how life goes on. So consequence, you have to take accountability for it. Don't blame others. Okay, you have to take accountability on those elements. And then resources, you will need range of resources to, when you're writing down, you will understand, do I have to get something, or do I need something? And that will help you to make your goals. I'm sorry, I'm just, hello ma'am. Okay, no worries, I'll go on back. Okay, thanks. Sorry, I'm just getting reminded about the time element. So I'm really sorry. I've taken a bit. I wanted to make it more clear on these grounds, because if that is clear, it helps you. So it's about understanding your resources, as in terms of, is there something that you need to prepare and work on your resources, collect them, or something that you need. So if you need any, if you're driving, you'll need your license, paperwork for that, taking lessons, or you already have, I've already got my learning license, so I can start driving the car, things like that. Next slide, please. Yeah, you can move these slides because I've explained this through. So go to the next slide, please. Again, next slide, please. Okay, so just to recap on, make sure that you know what your goal is. Be very specified. Identify what actions you need to take. Set up a plan. Establish the measures of accountability. Execute and monitor what is going well, what is not going well. Ask for feedback. Right feedback. Ask right questions. So this is about goal setting. Next slide, please. Then comes about Tuesday thoughts. So now we are going to look at thoughts. Next slide, please. So I want you to join your hands, like how you make your namaskar. Just join your hands and then clench your fist together. I don't know if I'm not able to see me. So yes, I can see Moksha. So join your hands together and put it in a flicks. Uh, take your two index fingers out. Yeah, both index fingers out of your hand, fist. Are the both fingers away? And make sure you don't join them. So keep it in front of you and make sure you don't join them. And notice what is happening to your index fingers. Are they remaining joint or they are trying to come close? Are they joining or they are staying away from each other? Okay, now shake your hands. What happened there? Could you keep it away from each other?
No.
Someone was talking, so no, they were coming back to join. Okay, now let's do it. Shake your hands. Again, do the same thing and keep your index fingers away. And do the same thing and keep your index fingers away. Are they joining? What's happening now? Are they
Now
coming
they're
closer?
keeping away.
What's the difference? What was the difference? It's what language I used. Okay, how you train your mind. We tell children, don't run. Do the children listen? No, they will keep running because all they hear is run. Same way, when he said, don't join, your fingers will tend to join because this is something your mind is not used to doing. So the message I gave was, don't join. But the next one I gave message was, keep them apart. So your thoughts, your language plays a very important role. You can try this exercise after the session is over as well. As I said, I'm going to rush on that. But your language is very important tool. Okay, how many times we comment, we make judgments, we pass opinions on people. They all stick to us. Our brain takes it in our subconscious mind. We have all those words. Kuch karti nahi. What, I don't know what you're going to do in your future. Oh, you're such a smart girl. Oh, like all these positive things make you what you are. It was so lovely to hear the feedback from my teachers today. And it was nice. They already saw me as an energetic person, a creative person. And that is what I'm able to give today. That feedback I got as I was growing in my yesteryears. This was a feedback that they saw and motivated me to do more and more. And today where I am. So make sure you are very conscious, very aware of what people say to you. Take what you need and just bin what you don't. Okay, you don't have to validate people's feelings. You are clever enough to make that judgments for yourself. You can fool anyone in the world, you can't fool yourself. So understand this very clearly. Next slide. So did you enjoy this? Did you understand the activity that your language is very important? How you put your words in and suggestions to your mind plays an important role. Next slide, please. Again, do we know our different emotions? Do we have a good vocabulary for emotions? Are we using the same word, I'm angry, for frustration? Are we using the same word when I'm furious? Are we using the same expression of emotion for explaining my other emotions? I'm happy. What I'm happy about? So are we having the different emotions? Are we having the right vocabulary for it? Next slide, please. Now, this is again taken from internet, some of the examples of list of emotions. So let's look at pick up emotion because I just want to focus on how your emotions create thoughts. When I say depressed, Can you think of a thought that made you depressed? It will take you straight away. Rejection, joyful, pleased. Is it giving you a thought? Some personal experience? So, whenever an emotion arises, it is going to get you to a thought. This thought can be some past experience or the feeling that you liked. When you walk through, I'm giving you my example as in terms of when I go back home, I love the smell of my mom's food. Okay, and that gives me, even if thought, or sometimes when we are planning a trip to India, we think of what we are going to eat. We make a list of things that we want to eat. It's because, and you can actually see the senses on our tongue. Now we are not actually having the food, but there are times it comes. So sometimes the emotions, the thoughts create or bring us into a thing, a different part of things. So your emotions play a very important role in your thought processes. Next slide, please. So every emotion creates a thought. Every thought creates an intention, and every intention creates an action. Okay. Now, I was a very jealous person, and I don't take any shame in saying this today. But if you asked me 20 years ago, I wouldn't have said that so openly. Okay. I was a very jealous person because I'm very competitive. So that competition would make me feel very jealous. So once I accept my emotion, once I acknowledge my emotions, once I take accountability for my emotions, automatically my intention makes a change. So when I was not aware of my emotion of jealousy, it would see it in my intention. I will show her. My approach was different. Okay. And then when I didn't, it would show in my action. And if I didn't get the same reaction back, I would make myself feel miserable. So this is how the emotions impact you. So it's very important to take accountability of whatever your emotions are. There is no good or bad. These are all relative terms. Okay, you change your definition of good student, good friend, bad friend on experiences you get. This is a very relative term. What it means to me, that way I will explain. So you have to be very clear or very aware of your emotions. Okay, ask questions when you are going in the dilemma. Someone said a confused state of mind about capability and willingness. We get trapped into these, we get trapped into the thoughts, and the thoughts get trapped into emotions, or vice versa. The emotions may create a thought, and that can get you caught. So make sure, remember that your thought will create an intention, and your intention will create an action. So when you're setting up goals, don't use your emotions to plan your goals. Be logical and think of every statement. Once you have got that clarity, use your emotions to support you, where you clearly identify what makes me happy, what makes me sad, what people I need to associate with me if I want to achieve that. It becomes more clear, because then you have thought logically and use your emotions to deal with it. Next slide, please. Now, again, degrees of emotions. Okay. There may be times when you are very happy and you have done some stupid things. Okay. Because that's how your emotions function. Same thing with your strengths. Your strengths can be something that like, for example, I'm a very confident person, or I'm a very confident person. My own strength can be my shadow. My confidence is so much that sometimes be overconfident and I lose the plot. Okay. Or my thing is, my strength is I like being I'm quite people person. The drawback or the shadow side of it is sometimes I get caught up and I can't say no, and I end up अपने पैर पे खुलाड़ी मार लेती हूँ. So those kind of dialogues you say. So same way with your strengths are your emotions. So there is a degree of content, and you can do an aesthetic thing, or you feel absolutely down and depressed. So you need to understand exactly where use your define your emotion clearly. Again, clarity has to be there in everything you say. So understand what your emotion is. Are you really feeling angry, or are you feeling frustrated? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you worried? Are you anxious? So your emotions vocabulary has to be very clear as well. Next slide, please. Now, all this we have been thinking, we spoke about our goals, we spoke about our feelings, we are speaking about that dilemma that we go through. It's important that we acknowledge, alongside all that, we need to acknowledge and be grateful with things that are happening. Okay, so these are some of the examples that how we can make sure that we are saying thank you, how we are helping to be positive, how we can give positive affirmations. Someone had said in the chat that giving suggestions to your mind. Okay, we did that activity where we did with our fingers, which talks about how we are going to talk to ourselves, what kind of language we're going to use to ourselves. So these are few of the examples. Okay, how am I going to make myself feel amazing? Next slide, please. Gratitude. So how you can have a gratitude attitude, this is a very important element, and I think COVID must have taught this to every single person today, is about having gratitude. Be blessed, be thankful for what you are today. Okay, celebrate your achievements. Today I heard two of our teachers who have got so much experience sharing that we are learning from students, and they're so grateful for that. Even to have that thank you coming from, it's an important element today to have that saying thank you or celebrating what you have been learning. Okay, think what about what you have rather than what you don't. Okay, always say look at the brighter side, look at how all these statements actually is about telling thank you and feeling blessed. It's important that you are very grateful for today. When you wake up, your day should start by saying, oh, I'm thank you for I'm awake today, I'm living today. So be grateful for everything. Tell yourself one, two. Tell someone what you appreciate about them. And tell yourself, I love when I wake up with a smile. Thank you for giving me a smile when I wake up. Help a stranger. Nothing like helping. Nothing, that feedback that comes in, that I sometimes you may not even talk, your eyesight will tell you more. Okay, actions speak louder than words. Volunteer, do good deeds, do silly things, take pleasure, go for a walk, smile more, greet someone. I remember we have local newspapers that are given free near the railway stations here, and we used to have a person who used to do. And after a few months, we had a change, and the person used to sing, "Have a good day, madam. Thank you very much." And he used to sing this song and give paper. What used to happen? Everyone who passed took the paper. They read or they didn't read, that is immaterial. But when he would sing, "Have a good day, madam," or "Have a good day, sir, thank you very much," he would sing in the same monotonous sound, but a smile with a happy. He was so happy that he made us take the paper. So sometimes when you have the gratitude attitude, you get right people, right things coming your way. And help when you can. That's very important. It could be in giving a lending hand, it could be just listen, just being present for someone, just listening to someone, that can be a big help to someone else. Next slide, please. Now about celebrating wonderfulness around you. Imagine you have got a clarity in your thoughts. You have understood your right vocabulary in your emotions. When you are very grateful to whatever is happening to you, do you think wonderfulness will not come to you? It has to come to you. When you are ready to accept what is thrown to you, and when you start looking at little beautiful things around. How many of you hear the birds chirping when you walk through the street, or you hear the traffic? Do you hear the traffic sounds, or you enjoy the birds? So there are lots of wonderful noises around you. Okay, you need to take a time back and just be in that present. Even if you're stuck in the traffic, enjoy that. It will change the whole scenario. Things will start looking wonderful. And if you are already running late and now you're panicking because I'm stuck and I can't meet on time, you can't do anything. You're not in that, things are not in your control. Just relax, take a step back, and maybe that's how you're going to appreciate more time. So many things may not be in our control. We need to make sure that we are enjoying that every element that is thrown to us and accept it. Once you accept it, once you let go, once you look at it in a whole, your whole way of looking at things change. When your perspective change, the situations also change. So Wonderful Wednesday is just reminding us there are so many wonderful things happening around us. We don't even pay attention. Okay, it's just about giving that moment, taking one step back and waiting. Walk slowly to the station if you're traveling. Okay, give a hand to your mom when she's in the kitchen. Say a nice thing to your brother who always annoys you. Those little things will bring wonderfulness around you. Next slide, please. Now, feeling wonderful is something that many a times we can't feel wonderful because either we are getting stuck with our past experiences or we are stuck about the future. So, what happens in this whole future and past? Forget to live in the present. So, to be in the present, you have to constantly remain focused. You may think of a game that we played in the morning. You think of the activity we did, Mr. and Mrs. Right. We had to stay focused. We were listening to what was going around. Some of them got distracted with things around. Some of them who were only listening to what was coming in. Some got a bit confused. So there will be so many things happening. But once you are in that present moment, when you are conscious, now, the one who looked at other people may have looked at some of the elements that may have picked up. So, when you are in the present, you learn more. You are more aware, your productivity will be more. Next slide, please. So, to help with your wonderfulness, we need to make sure first, I put balloons with strings because we need to cut those strings off. We need to let go. Be kind to yourself. What kind of language we use to ourselves? How many times we say positive things about you to your own self? How many times we comment about us? How many times we comment about others? So easy. We just give opinions from every aspect. It's like free will. Everyone, if you ask me how she is, I have every opinion to give about everyone. Okay, and are we kind sometimes when we are giving opinions about others, making judgments of others? Are we being kind to them? If you are not kind to others, how can you be kind to your own self? Relax. It's an important element today. Things, there's a lot of stress going on anyway. So take a back seat. Feel the things. When you're brushing your teeth, do you feel the brush on your teeth? How does it make you feel? When you're eating a fruit, you take an apple on your hand. How does that apple make you feel? Just relax, enjoy. Do you really sit down and enjoy your meal? I don't. Sometimes I have to make conscious effort to do that. So relax. Take accountability. I know I'm being late. I can't change. I will try to do. So take accountability, because once you take accountability, you will able to function better. If you keep blaming, you will not, you are responsible, but if you don't take that accountability, you'll never be able to find peace. You'll never be able to find wonderfulness around you. And we all feel the same. No one here would say that I feel very different from others. No, the intensity, the emotions, everything is same. Some may be able to define it better, some may not. Some may be able to acknowledge it better, some may not. Some may be able to take accountability better, some may not. But everyone feels the same. Okay, what you feel, maybe what Sonali is feeling, some way even Moksha is feeling, same way Aditi is feeling, and Dhwani is feeling, and so many of us, even I feel. I also feel rejected sometimes. I also want attention. I also want self-recognition. All these elements everyone go through, because we are humans. So we are go through this. And being at a human development, we know the hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy stage. All those elements play an important role. Next slide, please. Maslow, sorry, not Marlowe. And then it's about practice mindfulness. Sometimes we get caught up with our mental chatter. We get caught up in our thoughts. We get pulled. We focus on past and future so much that they create emotions. When we create emotions, what happens? It impacts our intentions. It impacts our action. It impacts our self. We react instead of act. We become worriers rather than warriors. Okay, we become judgmental, and that all impacts our things around. Next slide, please. Am I clear so far? Any questions? I know I'm rushing a bit and there's no much interaction happening. Are you happy with what's going on so far? Is it clear? A thumbs up would be
Yes, ma'am.
fine. Okay, thanks, Dhwani. Happy Thursday. Okay, now researchers have shown that Tuesdays and Thursdays are very productive. If you look at from work or business aspect, you will see most meetings happen on a Tuesday, most meetings happen on a Tuesday. more deadlines have been fulfilled by Thursday. Okay, that's because Tuesday, Monday you have just come in, Thursday, Tuesday you get charged, Wednesday the flow goes, Thursday you're looking forward to the Friday or the Saturday coming closer. So that's how it works. So we keep Thursday as a thirsty Thursday, where we are going to show, we are going to be willing to learn things, where we are going to show the thirst, drive to learn something. If you want to be, we looked at our goal setting, we looked at resources, needs, and uh, what I will need and what I will need to find. So all this. So keep a thirst for something. As I think it was Prachi mentioned about being a DJ. Keep that thirst. Keep a hobby. Work for something that it's out of the routine. It's very important, and that's the reason. Keep thirsty Thursday is very important. You need to be thirsty about something. Imagine you have not drank water for the whole day. How will you feel when you see water? That's how you need to have about your thirsty Thursdays. So next slide, please. Okay, so we will have a little game which talks about you need to do on a paper, write A for choice. I'll giving you some scenarios. You choose A or B as an option. Okay, there may be, it's very simple game. You just make a choice between A and B. You write down on a piece of paper, and then we will just share few two or maybe two and just see if they match. Okay, so you have to make a choice. So are you ready for it? Have you got a paper pen ready with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is a game where I will be presenting you with some scenarios, and it's your preference. So you write A for a preference or a B for there is no option. You have to choose either a A or B. Even if you don't like or you don't fit, you can't resonate with the situation, that's all right. You just make a choice. Okay. So the first one is Coke or Pepsi. Coke is A, Pepsi is B. Next, board games or video games. Big party or small gatherings. I know it, don't imagine COVID situation. I'm just talking in general. Big parties or small gatherings. This one is hard. I'll give you a minute or a bit extra. Honest or people's feelings. Honest or people's feelings. Okay. If you want to just share it on your paper, or if you want to just talk, anything will be fine. So is anyone wants to share their options for the five? So you may need to have five options. No, I think I did four. Did I? Did I do five or four? Four.
Four. Four,
Four.
ma'am.
Okay, let me give you a last one. Dark chocolate or white chocolate? Okay, so can two or three of them can share their options? Just shout BBA or whatever the things are.
Sure, ma'am. May I?
Yep.
So first one is B, second one is A, third and fourth were B, and last one was A.
Okay. Anyone else? So you say it again, just the alphabets. B A B B A.
B
Is that
A B B A.
okay? Anyone else?
I am wondering how mine and Moksha's options are the same. Mine is the same too. BABBA.
Now you will be surprised,
Ma'am,
Vani. You will have many of them having either the same. If we had a thing to show everyone's papers, you will have so many of them having the same, and you don't even know those people. Okay, you may know, and some of them will be totally different. So this is just to say that everyone has the same thought processes, same choices. So there are so many people just like us, same confusion, same things that everyone goes through. So why are we bringing those grudges? Why are we making our life so much difficult than what it is? Why are we making it such a task to make? Why we need to? Why when we can find motivators around us in so many different ways? So it's just about being aware, making sure. And as you rightly said, you may if someone else will say even mine one are same. Or someone will say, oh, mine are totally different. None of them match. And what I've done is I've just taken a glimpse because of the time factor. So it's just about understanding that everyone is same. Everyone is just right. Everyone is feeling just the anxiety, anxiousness, happiness, everything around. So all we need to live or all we need to do is present in the moment now. When you're making, do it now. Don't wait for things to happen and plan, prepare. Make a diary, make a to-do list. Say in today's I'm going to do this, and look at how much you have performed. So from your list, if you had 10 items, if you did two of them, you performed at 20%. Keep a note of it and see if that productivity changes in due course of time. Okay, so you want, someone said about being productive. So this is how you can look at your productivity. Make a list of things and see how much you are achieving. If goal is too much to think of, do it on a day-to-day basis. About being anger or being patient. So what patience means to you, define it and just write down that in a week I'll try to be patient at this occasions when I lose my patience, and then monitor it. So those are the ways you will be able to. So it's a lot of on reflections. Look at your emotions. What kind of thoughts come to you? Are the thoughts living in the past? Are the thoughts thinking about future? Do you have control on any of these? If no is the answer, what do you have control on? Only yourself. So bring it back. How do I change a situation into a positivity? How can I look at new situations? How can I look at everything that comes along as avenues? How can I make this as an opportunity? How can I change and make it into a success? Who do I ask for feedback? Who do I go? What kind of questions do I ask so that I get a right feedback? If you ask an open-ended question, I will get bombarded with people's judgments, because many a times feedback gets confused with people's judgment. Okay, sometimes you might have a feedback coming and you ask for a no or a yes or a no question and it doesn't give you much feedback on that. So just reflect on these elements. Next slide, please. And again, as I said, it's be thirsty for it. Keep one day to learn a skill, develop a hobby, and time for me. It could be someone is interested in making poetries, or I just don't want to do anything today. I don't know. I sometimes have a moment where I don't do any washing, no cleaning of the house. I just sit on one side and do what I want to do. I might just sit down and watch Christmas movies with my son, or watch something that you want to do. Okay, if the house is messy, it's okay if you have not done something, but don't stay in that. If that is to rewind, to de-stress yourself. So use this opportunity to create, be thirsty for something, to learn something, or rewind, release yourself, de-stress yourself, put your feet up, talk to someone. I have made a list that every month I call 5 of my 5 friends that I have not been in touch. Okay, and it's nice when you all of a sudden get where you call someone and say, oh Dhanvanti, or they will say, oh Dhanvanti is making such an effort, we need to call as well. And now everyone is calling more. So sometimes you need to make that effort, and it does play. When you if you take control, and if you're creating something to change, or you making a change in your regular routine, it will have an impact. Next slide, please. And it's again having a mindset. Today, it's very important that we have a growth mindset. I had a discussion with someone yesterday, and they were saying, my goal is I don't want to retire. You can't retire. As a brain, you can't retire. Okay, that's the reason it says you never get tired. You will need to again, go again and again. So it's need to have a growth mindset. So what is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? So learn to get your growth mindset, and that thirst will help you to get this. So I can learn anything I want. Telling your mind, again, someone said about positive affirmations, telling I am brilliant, I am awesome, I can achieve so much. I'm only going to think of good things today. I'm going to learn anything that is thrown to me. I'm going to turn it into an opportunity. When I fail, I learn. When I make mistakes, I become wiser. So those kind of statements, my efforts and attitude determine everything. So giving that, if you have those kind of things going to your mind, that kind of language you are having with you, what do you think you are going to be? You are going to provide energy. You are going to be positive. You are going to pass positivity around. Even if a absolute negative person comes to you, will start after that, your positivity will be so much that it will rub on the person, and even that person will start picking on things. And I'm talking this with experience. When we are, when you have a, sometimes you, when you work with, when I work with children, sometimes I feel I'm also working with 28 older children. When your staff team has got the 5 fingers, are there reasons why they are not same? If they were all of the same size and shape, we wouldn't be able to do anything. So these different people that are around you are there for a reason. So instead of getting upset and angry on them and getting frustrated, yes, use them. Let's look at them, how their strengths are, and capitalize on it. Start giving good feedback. Start talking, and that feedback doesn't mean that you just say to please them. No, it should be meaningful. If you can't say something nice about someone, don't say something bad either. So it's about telling your mind that I'm only going to think of positive things. I'm only, and people who make you feel horrible or make you feel upset, make you get angry, keep them away. Try to find ways to make yourself or organize in such a way that that doesn't impact you. And that's about thirst, understanding yourself, thirst for understanding how I can be best, how I can. And once you define yourself, so we play this with our staff team sometimes, where you ask each other to define. So you need to tell me in 40 seconds. We call it an elevator switch. Tell me something about your day today. In 40 minutes, 40 seconds, you need to tell how your day has gone, what you want to achieve in your today, and talk about it. Have a thing with your students as a group or in friends. Tell me what your things are. Tell me about me in 40 seconds, and you will understand that what positive, or define me in 40 seconds, and you will come out with what people think important about you. Pick it up, talk to the right people in that respect, and it will also help you to know yourself more. Sometimes you have learned about Johari windows, so there are things that you may not know about people. You know about a people but not about so use those, all these things that you're learning in as a topic within human development as well. Implement on your own self. Next slide, please. Now it's Friday. Impact of food on us. How many of you are scared of eating fried stuff these days? Everything has gone so health conscious, and oh, I can't eat a cake. So yes, they have an impact. Overeating of these things are not good for you. But again, every food matters. I'm just going to play a quick video. It's a 4-minute video. I hope I've still got 10 minutes with me. So I'm going to try to see if I can quickly talk about the video, or I might share a link about it. And it talks about why these food are important. Our brain is mainly made of fat, so it needs fat to function. Okay, so it talks about why it is important that we need to eat balanced food diets, why it is important that we have enough nuts, oils, again healthy oil food, that is because it impacts on our day to day working. How many times when you have not drank enough, you will your mind will tell you are hungry, but actually that it might be not hungry, but it is thirsty. So sometimes we don't listen to our bodies, and we tend to do take carbohydrates off. Now with this fat diets coming through, we take some elements completely out of our diet. Those things are not good because it is impacts. Or someone who has dieted and not is on a diet and doesn't have a particular kind of food for 3 months. Imagine when it comes in, when they have it for the first time after 3 months, how they are going to feel. Okay, so your food impacts on us. I will just go on to the other things and then go on to the video of this so that we can cover, so that I make sure that I've answered any questions. So enjoy your food. Okay, don't feel guilty. Guilt is not something that you need to live with. Okay, there are lots of elements that make us feel guilty so many ways, in different ways. Let food not make you feel like that. Okay, if you had it, you felt you shouldn't have eaten that, it's okay. Next time, be aware of that you might go through that. Or sometimes some people may go over the moon. Here it is quite that they might drink a bit lot, and then oh, I should never remember. They go back. So it's about setting those goals. If you feel horrible about yourself or not good about yourself, then do something about it. But then again, taking accountability and taking the consequences. Now don't crib when you have made a choice. So all that is impacting on Fat Friday. It's okay to spoil yourself sometimes. It again becomes at the same time, don't feel guilty. Take accountability and do actions again. Take action. If you don't like it, if you don't feel good about it, then don't do it. So it's instead of feeling guilty, and talk to yourself that I've done it. Now I feel horrible. Like I have a friend who hides a packet of crisps in her sofa because she doesn't want her husband to know that she eats crisps. I said, you're fooling yourself. He's telling it for your own good. But if you do that, Who is she fooling? She's fooling her own self. So sometimes you need to understand this. Food does make you feel good. Food has its own elements of feeling good. But if it is making you feel good to a point that it is making you feel bad, then let's start revisiting our emotions. Have that dialogue with yourself so that we can focus on in that respect. Next slide. Any questions? Any more questions? Should we see the video? I think we should be able to finish. I think we should be able to see the video. Any questions, girls? Boys, any questions, team?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We can watch the video. So it's from a YouTube video. So it's not something that I've just read, and I felt that is such an important. I could resonate with this very well myself.
Is the screen visible to all?
Yes, it's visible to me.
If you of your brain and broke it down to its constituent nutritional content, what would it look like? Most of the weight of your dehydrated brain would come from fats, also known as lipids. In the remaining brain matter, you would find proteins and amino acids, traces of micronutrients, and glucose. The brain is, of course, more than just the sum of its nutritional parts, but each component does have a distinct impact on functioning, development, mood, and energy. So that post-lunch apathy or late-night alertness you might be feeling, well, that could simply be the effects of food on your brain. Of the fats in your brain, the superstars are omegas 3 and 6 acids, which have been linked to preventing degenerative brain conditions, must come from our diets. So eating omega-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and fatty fish is crucial to the creation and maintenance of cell membranes. And while omegas are good fats for your brain, long-term consumption of other fats, like trans and saturated fats, may compromise brain health. Meanwhile, proteins and amino acids, the building block nutrients of growth and development, manipulate how we feel and behave. Amino acids contain the precursors to neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that carry signals between neurons, affecting things like mood, sleep, attentiveness, and weight. They're one of the reasons we might feel calm after eating a large plate of pasta, or more alert after a protein meal. The complex combinations of compounds in food can stimulate brain cells to release mood-altering norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. But getting to your brain cells is tricky, and amino acids have to compete for limited access. A diet with a range of foods helps maintain a balanced combination of brain messengers and keeps your mood from getting skewed in one direction or the other. Like the other organs in our bodies, our brains also benefit from a steady supply of micronutrients. Antioxidants in fruits and vegetables strengthen the brain to fight off free radicals that destroy brain cells, enabling your brain to work well for a longer period of time. Without powerful micronutrients like the vitamins B6, B12, and folic acid, our brains would be susceptible to brain disease and mental decline. Trace amounts of the minerals iron, copper, zinc, and sodium are also fundamental to brain health and early cognitive development. In order for the brain to efficiently transform and synthesize these valuable nutrients, it needs fuel, and lots of it. While the human brain only makes up about weight, it uses up to 20% of our energy resources. Most of this energy comes from carbohydrates that our body digests into glucose, or blood sugar. The frontal lobes are so sensitive to drops in glucose, in fact, that a change in mental function is one of the primary signals of nutrient deficiency. Assuming that we are getting glucose regularly, how does the specific type of carbohydrates we eat affect our brains? Carbs come in three forms: starch, sugar, and fiber. While on most nutrition labels, they are all lumped into one total carb count, the ratio of the sugar and fiber subgroups to the whole amount affect how the body and brain respond. A high glycemic food, like white bread, causes a rapid release of glucose into the blood, and then comes the dip. Blood sugar shoots down, and with it, our attention span and mood. On the other hand, oats, grains, and legumes have slower glucose release, enabling a steadier level of attentiveness. For sustained brain power, opting for a varied diet of nutrient-rich foods is critical. When it comes to what you bite, chew, and swallow, your choices have a direct and long-lasting effect on the most powerful organ in your body.
Thank you, Jigna. So, did you see how food makes us feel? So, the impact on our emotions, all that plays an important role. So, food is an important element to make our brain because all the signals come from our brain. So, it's about, and then it joins up with an experience, and then you can feel and things like that. So, it's important that we have the right kind of food so that we feel good about it, or if we don't feel good about it, we need to know about it. Any questions? Anything that come across? If not, we can move on to the next slide.
Is the slide visible? Play video one or the next
Yes,
one?
I need to go on the next slide. Next one, please. And this is a quick recap. So, first of all, you need to take accountability and be responsible on how you feel and act. Only I have control about my emotions. If someone tells you you made me angry, so you can just say, well, I'm not responsible for your anger. You have made yourself feel angry. So it's about don't take people when people give you things, or you have made me very upset now. No, actually, you got upset about something that you didn't happen your way. So it's about making sure that you don't get caught about it. If you have actions or your goals are not, you're setting up, understand it, be responsible for it, take action and act on it. Plan and prepare, make a to-do list. As I said, if you are working on a day-to-day basis to get you oriented with getting your goals clear, do a to-do list, write down what you want to achieve today, write down the percentages, and you will see, if you are very sincere about it, you will see your productivity increasing. If you commit to yourself, if you are making that promise to yourself that you want to make sure that you are increasing in productivity, or I want to be patient, because this is it's a state, so you need to make sure that it's happening on all. If you want to be successful in everything you do, break it down, and it's okay if you don't succeed. Okay. Make a clear understanding of who you are, what kind of person you are, what makes you upset, what can make you sad, what can really motivate you and make you happy, who are the people around you who will help you to make you self, who have made an impact on you. Life is beautiful, every day is beautiful. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. And I want to just say a big thank you to everyone who has joined in. First of all, thank you, Miss Kirti ma'am and Mala ma'am, and all providing me this platform. All the people who have been working behind the scenes from from Dr. BMN College and Rusa, Dhwani, Purohit, Aditi, Moksha for their inputs and feedback. My son Salil, who has been very patient with me and allowed me to make my presentation and not disturb me. And last and not the least is all the people who have been a part of this today. So thank you. And it is absolute thank you to all my teachers, because today whoever and whatever I am is all because of their input, what my college has given me. So I can't, each and every member of staff in our college have been extremely nice. That includes right from non-teaching staff, all our peons and all. They're also so helpful. All our buys were so helpful. And today, whatever I am in my industry that I am in is because of my college and the exposure they have given. So I'm this opportunity to say a big thank you to everyone who has been involved in my own growth. So thank you. Hope this session has been of any help and has helped you in some way or the other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dhanvanti. And on behalf of the Department of Human Development, I, Dr. Janvi Joshi, would like to officially thank you for making time for this session, for giving us your valuable inputs, for activities that you planned, which made it very engaging for the students, and for taking on examples from students' life so that they can relate the most with it. And I would also like to thank the principal and management for supporting the department in this endeavor, and to RUSA, of course, for the sponsorship and funding, to all the student volunteers of TY Human Development for their, doing their duties very diligently, and to all participants who have been with us today, either on Google Meet or YouTube Live. A big thank you to everyone. And Dhanvanti, you have
Any
messages coming in
questions?
for you in the chat box as
And
well.
special thanks to Nitin sir.
Oh yes, heartiest thanks to Nitin sir for in ensuring that we are on YouTube.
I hope this has been of help. I know I rushed a bit towards the end, so I'm really sorry if I have not passed my message clearly. It's a very big topic, and it is quite. It has lot of fine elements that need to be focused on. So if I have not made justice, and if I have not given you what you joined in for, I'm really sorry. But my input, hope it has been of some help.
It has been very helpful, I'm sure, and the more students and all of us sit with it, the more it will be useful.
Yes, it is something that you have to take that time to reflect on every element.
Can I add something, Dhanvanti?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please do, Kalpana, ma'am.
I think you have delivered what you promised, because when we started with and you asked us that what is it going to be about, even after 30 years of teaching, today I got so many new examples to share tomorrow with my girls for goals and vision. And home management tomorrow is going to be very interesting because of your child development today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dhanvanti.
We request all participants to please fill in the feedback. The link has been shared with everyone, and please do share your feedback with us.
And if you have any questions, you can email me on deshmukh.dhanvanti@gmail.com. So I've just opened a new account. If there's any questions, any more clarity you want, any more help or support, or if I've not explained myself well, please feel free to put it in that email. It's deshmukh.dhanvanti@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to assist in this journey for anyone who wants to, or stay connected in any
Thank you.
way.
Thank you, Janvi. Thank you, Kirti, for helping us join this nice program.
Thank you, Kalpana.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
We'll wind up. If there are no questions, we'll wind up for the day. We wind up for the day.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't think there are any questions, Dhanvanti. So thank you very much. And we will definitely be in touch.
Yeah? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day ahead.